Om Om Sadashiva-samārambhā Shankaracharya-madhyamā Asmadacharya-paryantā Vande Guru-parampārā Guru-brahma Guru-vishnu Guru-devo Maheswarah Guru-sakshat Param-brahma Tasmai Shri-gurave Namah. Om Sahana Bhaktu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha-vīryam Karavāvahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidyushavaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaram Ishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokana Karanam Tam Namamyaham. Verse number 46. Vyapya Vyapakata Mithya Sarvamatmeti Shasanat Iti Gyatve Pare Tatve Vedasya Vasarah Kutaha Srutya Nivaritam Nunam Nāna-tvam samukhena hi katham bhaso bhavet anyah chadvaya karane dosopi vihita srutya mrityam sagacchati iha pashyati nānātvam māyaya vanchito naraha. Up to this we have seen. So here he says, look, yaha iva, verse number 48, yaha iva nana iva pashyati saha mrityoho mrityam gachati iti. So even though here we know apparently as though there is a difference, but the one who sees the difference, the one who entertains the difference, the one who lives in difference, what happens to that person? Definitely, he will be in the cycle of death and life. From death to death means what? So again, he has to die, again born, die, born, die, born. It will continue. And interestingly, because this statement has been quoted by scripture differently, different ways. And that's why it says that, look, this is a defect. To see differences, to see plurality, to see duality is a defect. So when it is a defect, and remember, who is talking? We Advaitins are talking, okay? Whereas other than us, everybody accepts this is a blessing, okay? So the entire group says, hey, look, how come you say, hey, look, you Mayavadin, they'll say, you Mayavadin, unnecessary you bring Maya, nothing like, Lord Krishna, okay? Lord Vishnu, Lord Rama. So we want to be Dasanu. I don't mind to suffer. And I should suffer only with Lord Krishna. So to make sure I am drowning, let Lord Krishna also drown with me, okay? Or his statue to drown with me. Hey, we need these people also, don't worry, okay? However, here very nicely being highlighted that here to see the duality is because of Maya. And when the person is carried away with the delusion, as you know, this example, even though there is one object, so when the person is intoxicated by the alcohol, this is one of the best example. Yesterday we were giving different examples. So when the person is intoxicated by alcohol, what happens? They say very nicely, what happens? So when you start seeing double, now this is the time to stop. You can talk to the professionals, okay? Once you start seeing double, that means what? It's a time to stop, because or else God knows what is going to happen. However, here how that happens in a common way. So also when the mind is illusioned. And why illusion comes? You know, first it comes because of attachment. And why attachment? Attachment presupposes dependence. So dependence leads to attachment. And once attachment is there, now the shoka has to be there, sorrow has to be there. Once sorrow comes, now mind starts dwelling upon that without my knowledge. And mind would like to relate anything and everything from that sorrow angle. Mind cannot look at anything, any object from different perspective or the situation wise or person wise. Just you see for yourself. When you are angry, do you see everything from the angle or not? So that's why what you do, you get angry. Generally, we have seen it very nicely. We have saying, beautiful saying, the daughter-in-law gets angry with mother-in-law, but cannot express to anybody those days. Okay, nowadays don't worry what they will do. God only knows. Okay, now mother-in-laws are scared. Okay, they have to keep quiet. Okay, this is the present scenario. Those days in India. So I have seen, with our mothers, I would rather say that's the right way. So if the daughter-in-law gets angry with mother-in-law those days, now where she has to express her frustration, because she cannot express her frustration with reference to husband, not allowed. Also, she cannot express her frustration with the children, because if she expresses her frustration with the children, mother-in-law will go 2 more steps ahead. Who are you to touch my child? You understand? Or scold my child? Then she has to. So what she will do? She will express her frustration with that cooking place. Okay, in those days, the earthen cooking place will be there. She will hit. She will do all the wrong things, or hit something or other, or make some noise with the vessels. Okay, because she has to bring out her frustrations also. Very nice way. At least she brings out frustration with reference to object, breakable object, not with the person. Because when you bring out your frustration, expresses your frustration with reference to a person, is a very delicate matter. However, let us not get into that point here. So here he says that how this attachment, and later on when you are confused and there is an illusion whether you are right or whatever you are hearing or seeing is right. Now when this illusion comes, now based on the illusion, if you are not a sadhaka, remember this, if you don't have your commitment, if you don't have your routine, this is what we say, you need to have your routine. Whenever you feel like getting up, you get up. Whenever you feel like doing puja, you do. Whenever you feel like doing japa, do. Whenever you feel like doing this, that, you do. This is not routine. Please understand. That is not allowed. In fact, that is not going to help you at all. That's why I have told earlier very carefully. Unless and until you are a religious person, you cannot become a Vedantin. Without being religious, It is almost impossible to become a Vedantin, to understand Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. It is not possible at all. So everybody wants to, jump straight. I want to be a Vedantin. A Vedanta which is not going to enter at all. Because a religious person, especially nowadays, everybody wants to be Vedantin. So that I don't have to do anything. Morning, get up. I want to do meditation. I remember one fellow always will say, hey, I'll ask him, hey, why don't you do puja? Hey, Swamiji, I'm a Vedantin. What puja? If you say, only I like to light the lamp so that to keep my energy up. So I had to say sometimes, hey, look, how the lamp fluctuates, don't worry, your energy is also going to fluctuate. And exactly happened, okay? So it's not going to work. Because when you become a religious, not like so-called religion or religious people, please understand, here with attitude, with understanding, then what happens? Whenever the attachment becomes suffocating, because the sense of dependence becomes stronger. And when the sense of dependence becomes stronger, there is some type of suffocation in you. The elation, then after that comes suffocation. Then after suffocation comes depression. Remember this. Now, there what happens? The God becomes shock absorber. And when God becomes shock absorber, the rituals that you do, which rewinds your sense of attachment. Can you see this point? That's why we have this archana. Because when you are illusioned, japam will not work. Meditation, forget. Mindful meditation, if you don't ask, okay, I am nowadays crazy for mindful meditation, okay. Now they have become my first target. Not going to work. There only archana will work. There, not only 100 names, 1,000 names. If you have got 1 lakh, 1 crore, 10 millions, better go for it. Nothing wrong in it. That's why we do it. In fact, if you observe, this was cultural practices, this was, okay? When somebody passes out in the house, what we do, especially those days, we read Garuda Purana. At least that's the only occasion to read the Garuda Puranam, okay? Or other than that, nobody reads Garuda Purana. This is very nice. There is a Purana called Garuda Purana. It talks about different jivas, different whatever you do, what you are going to go through. And that Purana is not allowed to read in the house any other time, except those days, okay? It's a very nice way of looking at that. However, because continuously when you start dwelling upon, so that mind gets diluted. And that mind will not allow the illusion to take over. That's why I stretch today a little bit further. Or else your mind, your way of seeing will be defective. And once your way of seeing is defective, your approach will be wrong. And finally, you will be a failure person in your life. Is it clear? You can see for yourself. Whenever you have failed in your life, with reference to a person, with reference to a job, with reference to a situation, with reference to anything in your life, not because of anything, not because of anybody, but because of your illusion. And when you are carried away, not that confusion, it's an illusion. When you are carried away, then what happens? Now, whatever decision you make, or whatever step, there is no decision. Whatever steps you make, there is no decision, remember, okay? Whatever steps you make goes wrong. And once it goes wrong, where are you? finally you become a wrong person. And when you become a wrong person, that is called failure in other words. That's why here he says, this is dosham, defect, in a very sophisticated language. Okay? To have this sort of things is a defect, because Shruti talks a lot. Continuing. Brahmana sarvabhūtāni jāyante paramātmanaḥ tasmādetāni brahmaiva bhavantītyavadhārayet. Now again starts quoting another verse. So he doesn't want to leave it so quickly, okay? So from Taittirīya Upaniṣad brings it very nicely that the point what is want to highlight here is that ena bhutani jātani jāyante. Okay. Very good. So what he wants to highlight very carefully, that yatova imani bhutani jāyante ena jātani jāvanti yant prayanta avisantīti iti. So when it says that brahmaṇaḥ, that too, this which is paramātmanaḥ, sarvabhūtāni jāyante tasmādetāni brahmaiva bhavantītyavadhārayet. So one needs to understand it clearly. So now what is the understanding? That understanding is here that all the beings are born from Brahman. And when it is born from Brahman, now what happens? Says, look, definitely it is nothing called Brahman. How? Let us look at very nicely this point. Here when he says it is born from Brahman, it highlights that it is upadana karana. And now we are in which upadana karana? Don't forget, okay? You are now advanced student. Which upadana karana? Anybody can say? At least? Please. There are two types of upadana karana, okay? Fantastic. Fantastic. So we are now in vivarta upadana karana, not parinama, okay? So parinamavada and vivartavada, there are two types. So when vivarta means without undergoing any change, how the rope becomes snake, how the dreamer becomes the dream world, the one who is sleeping, the waker, I would rather say, the person creates the dream world without going through any change. So that is called vivarta parinama vada. However, so here he says, look, if you observe how this gold, because only we take the gold, okay? How this gold becomes ornament. Now, when this gold becomes ornament, now does the ornament at any time will be different from gold? In fact, you don't see the ornament. You see what? You see gold. In fact, there is no ornament. And there is a problem here. That also need to be understood very carefully. Technically, which is not being discussed, some other place will be discussed. See, when we say karya karana, I think we have discussed long back some other text. In Panchadashi we had discussed. So here he says, look, when karya karana, from the standpoint of karya, there is a karana. Because when we look at this is a product, from the product standpoint, there are causes. some plastics, this, that, in fact, full of plastics, okay, nothing else. So that means from the standpoint of product, there is cause. And we say that Brahman is Karanam to explain that the Karya cannot exist without Karanam. In fact, the Karya itself is Karanam. Whereas when we don't see this as a product, so where is Karya, where is Karanam? So that means the cause and effect that we use, it is for our transaction. Is it clear? Now he says, look, in the case of ornament, in fact, does not exist. You say bangle, what is bangle? It has got a form, and because it has got a round form, that's why it has a name called bangle. Now again we'll mold it, give to the goldsmith. Now that becomes a chain, a necklace. Now whatever the chain or necklace, now it becomes different based on a form. So that means in reality, there is nothing called ornament. It is indeed gold with a name, with a form, and that's why a name is being given. That's why we make it very clear. That's why when the child is being born, so first form comes, then name comes. Not nowadays, you choose the name before child is born, okay? And some people do. Before marriage, also they decide the name, okay? So if I will have a male child, this is my name, okay? If I have a female child, this is the name. You understand? However, let us not get into. So that's why first comes form, then to relate with the form, name is being given. And when this is what happens, but the substance is nothing but only gold. So also Brahman alone is Karana. And whatever product we see, the universe, including this body-mind complex, is nothing but it has got a form. That's why we have given a name. And interestingly, what happens? Also, we need to see, which we'll see in the next verse. It says, look, continuing. brahmaiva sarvanāmāni rūpāṇi vividhāni ca karmāṇyapi samagrāṇi bibhartīti śrutirjagau. Says beautifully. Here again comes from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, because it quotes left, right, doesn't give a, chance to think. And also, which also we chant regularly, that if you look at this, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. Related to that. So when did we chant this? I hope you remember, okay? This particularly, this whoever comes to ashram, this much they remember, because related to the food, okay? Unless you chant this, there is no food. So it says, look, if you look at, first let us look at the verse, then we'll go explanation. Brahmaiva sarvanāmāni vividhāni rūpāṇi ca, also samagrāṇi karmāṇyapi. And he says, look, śrutirjagau. Now, śrutirjagau, Shruti has clearly mentioned in different places, including in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad too. So what does it say? Brahma eva sarvanāmāni The Brahman is all names. And of course, says, look, vividhāni, rūpāṇi, all different forms. And samagrāṇi, karmāṇyapi bibhartīti, it also sustains all sort of activities. Indeed, everything is Brahman. So what it wants to communicate? It wants to communicate that, as we take the example of gold and ornaments. Now, all the names and different forms of ornament, is gold or not? Definitely, it is gold. Now, whatever ornament does, all actions related to ornament, is it really done by ornament or is it done by gold? Is it sustained by what? Sustained by gold. So, in fact, anything and everything is gold. So, if that is the case, it is me also same thing. So, I have got this name. Why I got a name? Because of this form. Interestingly, in India, we had this concept. We had, okay? Now it's gone. So when a child is being born, one name. During marriage time, they give another name. And interestingly, because new role comes, na? New look, new name. They give a different name. Especially girls do in their in-laws' house, they will give a different name. In fact, they used to retain that name they used to call. And nowadays, people goes one step ahead. They come with their family name. Disaster. They remain, or they would love to remain, as the daughter of the family. You understand? Hey, if you are a daughter of your parents, can you become in-law? Can you become a wife? It's not possible. It's a disaster. And many girls in India, they will hold their father's name, okay? Or family surname. A disaster. Hey, this is my view, okay? There will be a conflict whether you accept it or not. And if you observe in present day, I may be wrong, take the statistics. I have taken few statistics. Take the statistics. If there is a divorce, the divorce rate is going very high because of this reason. When the girl connects to the parents' family, wants to be independent. And because of the independence, and if you want to be independent, then why you want to have family? Be independent. No. I want everything best. You understand? Hey, there is not everything best is not possible. Be very practical. So the divorce ratio is going high, in fact, including in India. Not because of anything, because of parents. And mainly parents are responsible. Then don't worry, our house is open for you. Anytime you can come back. Hey, this is not acceptable. Once you have left, you have left. Don't look back. Because law, anyway, I'm going other way around. Why I brought this topic is here. The name and form, okay? From that I extended, okay? So based on form, there is a name. Now, when based on the form is name, now what you do? When your form changes, name should change or not? But if you hold on to the name, you would like to hold on to the form. What is form? That old things. Like, for example, let me say very carefully, very nicely. This is a new, this is called modern art, okay? Let us say you have a bangle. Now, when you have a bangle, because of a form, so now what happened? This is called bangle. Now that bangle, when you were a child, especially girls, when you were a child, let us say 10-year-old, so that time the bangle was created. Very nice, no problem. But now you want to hold on to that because that is already broken somewhere. So then what happens? It is supposed to have another form. No. I want to make a earring, okay? Nowadays, this big size earring, okay? So two bangles becomes earring. Now you make earring. Perfect, nothing wrong with it. Okay, you go to the goldsmith. Hey, look, don't want to give her that form because I am attached to it. Now, can you make the earring? Then what happens when you make this sort of earring and you want to use all the time? What will happen? Will your ear be there? Ear lobe also will go away. Does it happen or not? Then what you do? You need to do this way, that way. I watch, okay, funny things. As you are laughing, especially men are laughing because women will not laugh, okay? They are serious, okay? They think, oh, Swamiji, you are attacking us. You are a very manly person. Hey, please. It's not a manly or womanly, okay? Something is wrong, okay? Fix yourself. However, coming to the point that if you hold on to a form, whether you like it or not, you are attached to the name. And when you are attached to the name, definitely you cannot relate with the reality. That's why I brought this family things. When you are holding on to your name called your surname or your father's name, especially girls, now when they come to marriage in-laws house, so they are in a two standpoint. Neither this side nor that side. Have you not observed? And always a conflict. Poor man will have a conflict. Then what happens? Slowly, distance. And whole life in present day is what? Just managing to patch up. And most of the time, present day relationship is what? They waste their energy just to do a patch up. There is no oneness. And they will curse, okay, why did I get married? Okay. However, so how this happens, you can understand this point. Same thing also happens with reference to me and Brahman. So whole life I try my best to manage because I am holding on to old form. Because I am holding on to old form, so then I am holding on to the name or attached to the name. Or if I am attached to the name, I am holding on to the old form. And when I am stuck with name and form, then what happens? I cannot appreciate, I cannot see, I cannot avoid with the reality. Is it clear? More of it we will see. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti. Thank you, all of you.